Hi, I'm Irfan. Yeah. Hi guys, welcome to Checker. I'm Irfan and today we are reviewing the Beyerdynamic DT900 Pro X. My age is 25 but my ears are 32 years old. If you are wondering that, because some people do think that by age your preferences and your hearing changes. I listen to music, Hans Zimmer, orchestral, yani, epic जिसको बोलते हैं, soundtracks, movie tracks. If I'm listening to vocal, then it's Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, to Abida Parveen. क्या नाम है आंटी का? अडेल. तो देखिए, बचपन से मैं सुना अच्छे खासे हेडफोन सुना, मैं बीट सुना. बीट्स अच्छा ही नहीं है, बोस भी अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन सुना मैं सोनी के स्टूडियो हेडफोन्स पुराने वाले. सो आई एम यूज्ड टू वेरी फ्लैट साउंड. तो अगर आप कंज्यूमर हेडफोन से आ रहे, सो दीज वोंट फील नाइस इन द बिगिनिंग बिकॉज दीज आर प्रोफेशनल हेडफोन्स मेंट फॉर मिक्सिंग और थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो you'll feel like energy नहीं है, bass उतना नहीं, घुड़ नहीं हो रहा. But you'll get used to it because these are very flat and over time it develops like a fine cheese. Wine बोलना चाहिए लेकिन अपन पीते रहे ना. तो देखिए, मेरे को पागल कुत्ता काटा था 30,000 का जाके हेडफोन ले लेने. लेकिन वो इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि जो है सो गुलगुला रहे थे पैसे पर्स में, मेरे वॉलेट में. These headphones, if you are placing headphones in tier list like sound quality wise, lowest to highest, these would land somewhere in the middle. They're not as high end as Sennheiser 800S or DZ, something like that. It's not as cheap as something Bose, but it's in the middle. This is 29,000. So in this range, you'll be looking at Sennheiser 650, 596, which is 10,000 less than this. Sundara, of course. So this is somewhere in the middle, still high end. Seriously, if you are preferring audio, you have to compromise something. Bluetooth ke abhi naye Sony ke aaye 20,000. You are paying that for the convenience of you can connect anywhere, but the audio quality is not there in those headphones. So this is a very targeted thing. It's for mixing, for professionals. I wouldn't say Beyerdynamic DT is for listening to music and enjoying music. It's more of a professional stuff, pinpointing things, mixing to the last detail, something like that. Coming from Sennheiser, which is very warm, I heard the Beyerdynamic DT990, which we are using since a year. I love that sound. Just wanted to have that variation, but it was very sharp. That's why I just wanted to upgrade, and I had 30,000 to flex. That's why I got this headphone after a really long journey of trying Sundara, which we'll talk about later. These headphones are obviously aimed at a studio use. These are semi-open back. But that means आप बाहर की आवाज़ सुन सकते हैं, थोड़ी सी कम होती तो कोई पुकारे भाई गोश्त लेके आओ तो सुने आता, बहरे कैसा खेलते नहीं रहते. If you want closed back, then there is a 700X in the same series. So this is not something that you'd use in a transport, like a public transport or something. Closed back is good for that. बहुत जने बात करे भाई इसके बारे में, open back, closed back के बारे में, तो आप वो देख ले सकते हैं YouTube पे. Coming to the build quality, I love it overall. It's very well built, even though most of it is plastic, only this part is metal. But जब आप पकड़ते हैं ना, तो it has this solid feeling. The pads are very plush, adjustment is very solid, and it has a detachable cable, which is I think new in the series. And when you're wearing it, you have this confidence of how nicely it was thought, how well built it is overall. My ears are about, I'd say, 2.5 inches. In the ear cups, they fit nicely, but after like 2 hours, you do feel driver on your ear, which is a little inconvenient. I think these are aimed more at the content creators, as they say. So अगर आप YouTube videos बनाते, but you still want something which you can drive very easily on your phone, so you don't need amps, high grade power supplies or something like that. You can just plug this anywhere and get a very good studio quality sound for mixing and content creation.
I'm just here for the comparison. I have DT990 and I really like the hardware of DT900X and they look really good. I think I really like the design. I really like the bands. It has a kind of like a rugged look, at least if I put it that way. This have a clean looking headband. I do really love how thick the pads are on this one in comparison to this. it's like 10%, 10 to 15% more comfortable for me. Lekin that doesn't mean this is bad. Design wise, I would choose this over this, but aisa nahi hai ki bilkul hi kharab hai. I still love them. I really like how premium they look. I really like how rugged they look. Comparing this, अगर आपके पास DT990 है, and if you're thinking like, should I upgrade to 900? I'll be sticking to DT990 क्योंकि आवाज profile is, bit dynamic. They have the V shape and it's pretty much the same. And I don't have that high frequency problem what Irfan does. For me, ये ठीक है. Apart from that, what I really like about DT900, it has a detachable cable. But what I really love about DT990, which doesn't have a detachable cable, it has a coil cable, which is again a personal preference, but I like these much more over that one. Now let's talk about the pricing. If you're buying a headphone right now, you don't have any, if you're moving into this tier, I would suggest that you actually go for DT900. Kyunki the price for that is 29,000 right now. You can get a good deal even for less. DT990 mein problem ye hai कि it's 250 ohms. You're talking about 47 ohms on the 900 versus 250 ohms. That means I have to buy an amplifier to get the best sounding experience from these drivers. On the other hand, on the DT900, you don't need that because आप सीधा phone को लगा सकते हैं. The versatility of those drivers are really, really good than this one.
पैसे डुबा लेना है तो घुसना ही है.
ये ऑडियो नहीं आसान, बस इतना समझ लीजिए कि बैगन का दरिया है और पैसे फेंकते जाना है.
30,000 तो डाल लिए, अब इसमें से आवाज कैसी आ रही उस बारे में अपन बात करेंगे. I don't know how to describe sound without comparing it to any other headphone. If you're used to Bose, which I think quite a few will be used to, or Sony. Sony I think is very bass heavy. You don't hear a lot of high frequencies, just gum gum something like that. Beats is like that as well. Bose is a little more balanced but still very warm. Sennheiser is very balanced, has good vocal mid-range. The bass is not strong, the high is not strong. The mid it's a very vocal headphone. This Beyerdynamic I'd say is V, so it's a little bass and a little sharp, and the mid is somewhere flat. So this gives a very energetic sound to this headphone especially, and since it's very sharpish, आप बहुत details सुन सकते गाने में. If you're dealing with vocal recordings, I don't personally think Beyerdynamic is the headphone to go. I think Sennheiser is better because the voice sounds very natural on it. On Beyerdynamic, it sounds a little bit digital. Even though this Sennheiser specifically that I have is not as detailed as 900 Pro, but still the vocal is just so natural on Sennheiser. I don't think Beyerdynamic can do that. But if you're mixing, which I used mostly, movie mein aap mix kar rahe sound, if you're mixing for a song maybe, I think Beyerdynamic is better because you can hear those little subtle details. कहीं कोने से आवाज आ रही, clicks and pops हो रही, ये सब आप मिस कर सकते हैं Sennheiser में I think. But Beyerdynamic really shows you all your errors that you do on your mixing, so I think it's very good for professional work and not so good for just casual listening or just enjoying your music. Now, that doesn't mean Beyerdynamic is better than Sennheiser or vice versa. Once you come in that category, मतलब वो जब आप territory में आ जाते ना, it's like which is better, BMW or Mercedes. They both are good, they are known for what they do, and it's upon your personal preference. If you listen to very warm sound, something easy to listen to for hours and hours, I'd say Sennheiser. This is very energetic, कि आप वो सुनते गए तो आप थक जाते. That is what fatiguing is, right? I think this is not for everyone. If you do not like that kind of energy, then maybe it's not for you. But if you like that, then Sennheiser is not for you. So in the end, it's your personal preference. But if you're spending this much on a Sundara, I have questions and problems with that. देखो भाई, सुंदरा एनवायरनमेंट फ्रेंडली होगा मेरे को नहीं मालूम, लेकिन कचरे के डब्बे का मेटल ले लेके हेडफोन बनाए जैसा है. ऑनेस्टली मैं जब उसको देखा ना भाई, अफसोस होता कि 26,000 में कचरे में दिया. कंपैरेटिवली जब मैं ये 29,000 Beyerdynamic के लिए दिया, थोड़ा सा होता अरे, लेकिन अच्छा दिखता, टेबल पे अच्छा दिखता, पकड़े तो अच्छा दिखता, खुशी होती. ये चीज़ सुंदरा में मिसिंग थी, खुशी नहीं होती आपको. आप लगा लिए तो भी आवाज़ अच्छी आती, लेकिन मैं बोला ना ऐसा बैठा रहा था सिर पे. आई डोंट नो भाई, ये जर्मन चीज़ है क्योंकि Beyerdynamic जर्मन है, Sennheiser भी जर्मन है. आई थिंक चाइनीज़ है ये हिस्सा, लेकिन ये जो सिल्वर तरीके के हाई-फाई मैन लिखा हुआ एक सड़ी फॉन्ट में ऐसे ट्रायंगल अभी it is just so very tacky. गोविंदा नाम नहीं लेने का है भैया, नाम नहीं लेना। तो ऐसा दिखता ना, मिड लाइफ क्राइसिस हो गया हेडफोन्स को, वैसा डिजाइन है।
The other issue that I did not explain, which should be, I think, in the build quality, is that when you put these headphones on and these pads are adjusting on your ears when you move your head around, they make a very clicky, like some sound like that, which is very similar to how it would sound if you're plugging in a mic with your volume a little turned on, or if there's a wire issue. Once or twice, I checked if my wires are correct, and I did not realize it's the pad sound, and then later on I realized it's the sound that the pad is making. So it's that similar. I wouldn't say it's an issue or a deal breaker, but it's certainly there, and you don't move your head around much. It certainly isn't a deal breaker for me, but I'm just telling that it's there. I think after breaking in, the pads won't make that sound, but for now it's there.
I think these are good headphones to get for in-field. आप जब record कर रहे video या वो, you can directly connect it to the camera because it's not hard to drive. You can connect it to the phone if you're making on phone. If you are considering close back, then obviously there's 700. It's very versatile in terms of that. Then you can come and connect it to your PC or cheaper amplifiers, and it runs great with all the detail. So I think it's very good. What it's aimed at for that price range, I think it does its job very well.